On this page here. So these are the few things I want to do. Later we can talk about the pace of the class. I think the important thing for you, particularly different from this class compared to other classes, is I'm completely willing to adjust the pace based on feedback from you. So if you feel I'm going fast, slow me down. If you feel I'm going slow, speed me up. Give me feedback. Okay, this will be very helpful. Okay, so now I want to just quickly talk about some of the things we will do, tools we will use in this course. We'll do a quick brush through of Python. And I also put in one important thing here, which is a review of some unit testing ideas. Okay, so that when we do this course right from day one, I will use unit testing as a good way for you to submit your assignments and check your assignments are good and so on. And then I put a lab for the class, so I'll show you how the lab is set up. So the first thing we need here is I'm going to use something called a Jupyter. So if you go in here, I think we have a little noise on the microphone. Yeah. Maybe we will put the microphones on mute. Yeah.
Yeah, better.
Manish, you want to hit record, Manish?
It's already being recorded.
So okay, so if you go to this page, if you click on this link, it'll say cloud hosted Jupyter instance. And if you click on this link, it'll ask you to log in. You should use a Microsoft login. If you have a Microsoft login, use it. Otherwise, you have to create a Microsoft login. I'm assuming all of you have Microsoft logins. So can you log in and tell me? You should see a screen. It'll look kind of like this. I have more projects here, but you should see. Oh, actually, your screen looks a little different. I will just talk you through it. If there's problems, then one of you can share your screen and we can just look at it, okay? Is everybody on this page? Okay, so either you can unmute your microphone and tell me, or just type in chat. Either way.
We can go on this thing.
Sorry, say that again.
Like from where we can go on this page actually.
So from the website here. So if you're in overview section 1.2 course setup.
Okay.
And there is a link here. You see here. Okay. So is everybody in? Can you just text me or chat me? Sachin, are you there or?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just check with everyone. Kiran, are you there?
Yeah, Vijay, I'm not able to reach this course setup. So I'm sharing my screen so that you can direct where I have to go now.
Wait. I will. Yeah. So wait 1 second. It's very easy. Look at my screen quickly. Let me just do one more check. Just watch my screen. So you're on the main course page?
Yes, we went to 1.2.
Yeah, session 1.2. And if you go to 1.2, what do you see? Do you see a link here? Cloud hosted Jupyter instance.
Okay.
Yeah, just click on that link and it should take you to a page. On the top right hand side, you should see a login option on the top right hand side. A sign in, it should say.
But it's not giving me option to like any link option is not showing me. Actually, it's a flat. Actually, the text actually I can see the 1.2. For me, it's not enable any link.
Oh, it's not enabled the link?
Yeah.
Sachin, go to 1.2 course setup, and there you will see cloud hosted Jupyter instance.
Okay, let's do this way. I'm going to stop share. Sachin, just share your screen, Sachin. Yeah, if you click on share screen, there's a button at the bottom. It says share screen.
From where share? Yeah.
Yeah, just click on that. And then, let me see what happens. Yeah. So yeah, there you are there. Yeah, session 1.
This introduction to Python.
Okay, you know what? Just hit reload on your web page. Just reload the page. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This introduction.
Yeah. Yeah. There it. One.
Next.
Isn't that strange, Manish?
Yeah, give me a second.
Actually, I also ended up here, but when I went back, go to previous, it takes you to 1.2. Sachin, go back to previous. Through previous, yes.
No, it feels to me like.
Yeah.
Now here it comes.
Yeah.
Cloud host.
Oh, okay. This one.
So Vijay, it is taking us directly to 1.2.1, 1.3 after that.
That's a little strange. I don't know. I got to check it out and see what happens. Yeah, it's taking you to. That may be just it may be in cache of some kind. It might have been the last link you clicked on or I clicked on. I'm not sure. Okay, but we are here now, right? So everyone's here on this page.
And at the top, there's sign in. So
Yeah, just X out that survey. We don't need the survey. Yeah, just exit out. Exit out. Yeah. Then click on sign in on the top right. Yeah. It'll ask, just give if you, just use a Microsoft login. Yeah.
Praveen, you there?
Yeah. Pravin's there. He's on mute.
Okay. In terms of like signing into the.
Yeah, I have signed in.
Yeah.
Great.
So I'll tell you.
I have signed in.
Okay. Yeah, just X out that survey thing. Yeah. So when you come here, this is going to be something that I have prepared for you. So you click on that. You see the clone button on top, the green clone?
Yep.
Click clone. So what it does is when you click clone, you can name it however you want and you get a copy for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're now on your clone. Has everybody been able to clone, Kiran and Praveen?
Yes, I could.
Okay. Once you clone it, you see that below the on the left-hand side, you see a run on free compute. Yeah, you hit that. There's a run on free compute arrow. You click on that arrow, and now you have it. Okay. So now let me tell you what happened. So what happened is when we signed into a cloud-hosted Python session, but a cloud-hosted Jupyter-based Python session. So we're going to talk about Jupyter in a second. When you hit that start thing, what is done is basically a virtual machine is spun up. Okay. Inside the virtual machine, Python is running and also Jupyter is running. And this is the screen, the Jupyter startup screen is here. Okay. So now you have a live Jupyter session. So you click on that introduction to Python. Yeah. And then you have all the material that I've created for you. Okay. As you can see from this table of contents, there's a lot of stuff we want to talk about today. Okay, so don't get scared by it. I put it there just so you can just review. Okay. So so I think we're ready to start. Let me ask the group how you want to do this. I have done it both ways. One case I am typing and you guys are following. Maybe we'll try it that way. Otherwise, I can ask you guys to type and then I can just talk to it. Okay, so then let me take back the share. Okay, so I'll share my screen. Okay, so now tell me, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so now let me start here. So I will say something on my screen just to have more information for you guys to see. I have added more information, but what you're seeing on your screen is just a trimmed down version of what I have. Okay, so I will use this this notebook to talk to things, and then in your notebook, just follow along. I'll give you a moment. I'll tell you to do something here. Okay, so if you see here, you should see Python as a calculator, and then here is a blank cell. Everybody has this, right? If somebody has is on this page, just let me know. Are you seeing something like this, like my screen? Anyone?
Yep.
Okay. So what about Sachin, Kiran? Quickly, sorry, Praveen, Kiran.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So now I want you to go to this line here, and I'm saying to you that this for Sachin definitely this will be a new experience. This is an interactive Python prompt. So whatever we type in here will be evaluated by Python. Okay. But before I make you type, let me just explain. There are two kinds of cells. Each thing in this thing is a cell. There are two kinds of cells in this notebook. One cell is this. If you double click on any cell, it becomes active. Okay. And if you want to process the cell. So this is one keystroke you must learn. To process any cell, you must say Shift Enter. Okay. So right now on the screen, we have two types of cells. One is a text. Let me call it a text cell for now. Later, I'll show you that it can contain other things. But for now, it's really a markdown cell. Okay, and in that cell, we can type anything we want, which is information, like taking notes and so on. And then you have these interactive cells, right? So these, or Python cells. You see on the left-hand side, it says IN with a square bracket. That keeps track of how many times we execute a Python command. Okay, so that will be important. So let's start off by just doing 2 + 5 or something. I don't know, 2 + 3. Okay, and then now to execute something, you must do Shift Enter. So you see 5 comes out at the bottom. So can everybody run this?
Yeah.
Works?
Yes.
Works. Kiran, Praveen? So I don't want to leave anyone behind. So if it works, you should let me know. Okay. Okay. So let me go to So let me go to the next one. So let's do our famous hello world. So Sachin, you write in Java, right?
No, basically the PB and the .NET actually.
Okay. Okay.
.NET and ETL. Yeah.
Okay. So public static void main is there in C# also. VB.NET or C#.NET?
So it's a VB.NET and a SV.NET. Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Okay. So I'm more.
It was my first experience. Then I moved to the Power Builder, then ETL actually.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, you've done hello world programs in different programs. In Python, the hello world is you have to basically print something. So print is the command, and then you can put hello world, right? So that's your hello world. So you can just try to do this. Okay, so everybody's able to. So what is the important thing is shift enter. Okay. If you do shift
I think just wait. Let's see if Praveen is following.
Yes, yes. Please stop me. Don't be passive. Okay.
Kiran, Praveen, you guys are able to write?
Yes, Manish, I was able to execute Hello World.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So I will quickly check in with you every time I do something. Just prompt me back, okay, so that we don't lose time.
Is there somebody else? Somebody else has joined?
It's
Has
Jill.
someone else?
No.
Why do you think so?
I see one more GB.
Ah, GB, that's okay. That's my tester.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, so now what do we have here? So we have the next thing is, okay, once we are able to do hello world. Important thing, I was just discussing this with Manish, right? In Python, you create these things. I would like to start calling them identifiers. So for example, if you look at my code, is my font okay, or you want it bigger?
It's visible. If it could be slightly bigger, that would be good. But
Yeah, no
but it is visible.
No problem. I made it bigger. Okay. Okay. So important things here, right? A lot of definitions, but I guess to start something, we have to come up with definitions. So first thing is I want to create. So I want to say something like x equals 5. And I want to spend a minute just talking about this because I think it's important to have the right picture in your mind of what this means. In Python, at least, x is just a label, right? And I may or may not want x to change. So there is no modifier in Python to say that x should not change or x should change. In other languages, there's a constant modifier. There's no constant modifier here. And there is no type declaration. Feels a little bit like VB, right, Sachin? Well, in VB, you don't have to tell, right? It's var by nature, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So this feels natural to a VB person. But if you're coming from Java or C or something, you might actually have to tell what is the type of this variable. So notice this thing is not a variable because it can be constant sometimes. It is not typed. It doesn't have any type information. So it's just a label. So I would like to clean up my language and start calling these things identifiers. Okay. But we are corrupted. I'm corrupted by 20 years of programming. So everybody calls these things variables and I say variables. Okay. But I really mean to say this is a identifier. So we have an identifier x equals 5. And on the right hand side, I can put some things. Whatever I put on the right hand side gets evaluated and produces a value. So there are various things that are values. For example, 5 is a value. And 2 times x when it's evaluated is 10, which is also a value. Right? And the thing that is consisting of values and other identifiers and even some operators is called an expression. Right? So is that just language? Okay, if I say these things so you understand. Okay. So now you can type up something like this, create a couple of identifiers and then print them out. Okay, I will tell you one more thing when we're working here. Jupyter is friendly. You don't need to use print statements. So right now this is a setup. If you need it, I can show you later. But if I just say y here, the last command, the last line will get automatically displayed for me. Right? So just to make it more visible, I can just do this. Yeah, you see the last value will get displayed. So you can also tell Jupyter, please display all the last n values, and you don't need to use print anymore. But anyway, let us for this session use print where we need, if you need multiple displays, you must use print. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me go to the next one now. So this is important. Hey, by the way, if you're yeah. Okay, so let's do this simple problem now. You have values, expression, and types. Now I want all three of you to solve this problem for me. The stack of chapatis. If you take chapatis eaten in India in a day and stack them, how tall would the stack be? So Kiran, Praveen, Sachin, can you collaborate as a team and solve this problem? You probably need to turn on your microphones.
You can discuss between yourselves. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Please discuss something. Give each other some ideas. I would like to see a team solution. So, what is the strategy to solve this problem?
Vijay, can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, it's on my screen. If you take, can you see my screen or no?
Actually, it's all black screen for me at the moment, so there is some lag, I think.
Oh, okay. Is it better now or still not?
So Praveen, alternatively, you can open it on your own screen. So
Yeah,
you can
you
go
have, yeah, you have it in your session, no? Yeah, I can open that as well. Okay, so Kiran, why don't you start the discussion? How are we going to solve this?
Okay. So Vijay, there would be, I think, few assumptions before we start. The thickness of
Okay.
chapati, for example.
The what?
The thickness of chapati, for example.
Okay. So
Let's
okay. So I will be the typing monkey. Okay. So yes, we have to make some assumption. It's nice in Python to store them as variables, right? So we can call it thickness of chapati. Okay. How thick is a chapati?
I think 5 mm.
5
millimeters.
5 millimeters. Okay. So I will put 5 and then I'll put a note to myself in millimeters. Okay. Now, while I'm typing this, I want all of you to understand this idea, especially for Praveen, I'm saying. Especially for Sachin, I'm saying. The convention in Python is to basically, when you make identifier names, you use multiple words, you link them with an underscore. Right? I think in VB, what do? You use camel case, right?
Yeah, the same kind actually. Always like make it a single string actually.
Vijay, if you could increase the size a little, that will be excellent.
Sure, no problem. Yeah. What were you saying, Sachin? What do you do?
So I'm saying like in every language, basically we make a single string to declare any kind of variable.
No, I know, but in VB, would you say something like this?
Start with a small caveat, yeah. Thickness
Yeah.
of correct.
Right. So this convention is called camel case, and even there's Hungarian notation, right? You can even say like float or something like this. In Python, they don't do all this. Okay, they don't even do this. The convention here is to use underscore between words. Okay. So for variables, we use underscore between words. So just use the Python convention, just something new for you to try. Okay. So when you name variables, we name it like this. Okay, so 5 millimeters. Then what, Kiran? What's the next idea?
So
Praveen?
after this, Vijay, we could have the count of people.
Okay.
The population of India, assuming everybody eats 6 chapatis per day.
Okay, wait. Population of India. Okay. What is the population of India?
130 crores.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah.
What, Sachin?
1.3 billion.
Okay, 1.3 billion. Actually, yeah. Okay, so I want to show you this. Now you do this 1.3 like this, and then I would like when we work with large numbers to always use exponential notation. So billion is, billion is 9. Okay, million is 6, billion is 9, and trillion is 12. Okay, does that make sense? Everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Do you normally use this way of writing billions and millions, or you don't?
No, Vijay, I haven't been.
Okay, what about no?
Even
Okay. Yeah. So let me just take a second, right? You see, this is a very nice thing. This you count in thousands, right? 1000 is 10 power 3, right? And then million is what? 10 power 6, which I can write as 1000 times a million as well, right? I can write it either way. So you notice everything goes in powers of 3, and then a billion is 10 power 9 and a trillion is 10 power 12. So it's actually nice, and it's much better than putting comma 0, 0, 0 and then counting how many zeros. Every time you see the number, you don't know what is going on. Okay, so this is just a new practice. I think it's very helpful. So when you work with large numbers, just use exponential notation. It's very easy to know whether it's a million or a billion. Okay, I think the whole world should switch to this, but okay, we can't change it right now. Okay, so we got some idea of the population. Now what?
Now the number of chapatis each one eats on an average, maybe 4 chapatis every day.
Every day, just 4? I guess I should also ask.
People who eat only chapati would be eating much more, but there are people who eat chapati once and rice twice.
Oh, so okay. So you're saying other meals could be something, right?
Yes.
Just one meal they're eating chapatis, and in that meal they're eating 4 chapatis. Right? Or not?
Yeah.
Per,
Yes.
per person per meal. That's what you mean, right? Or not? Or per day? Do you mean per meal or per day?
Per day.
Per day. Okay. But really, they're eating only one meal, right? 4, or you'll eat 4 chapatis for a whole day? I don't think so. Sachin?
Vijay again depends.
It depends on what?
Depends
I
on
think Kiran has not counted her parathas.
Okay. I would be very hungry for the whole day. I got only 4, unless they're like humongous chapatis or something, right? Special chapati. Okay, but anyway, let's say per day. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so part of this discussion is when we're solving problems, it makes us think about these things, and a lot of interesting questions can come. Okay, so for now, I will just say per person, and I will assume it's 4. Okay. Okay, but we should also maybe make another assumption, right? Let's assume that not everybody in India eats chapatis. How about that?
Yeah.
So what fraction of people would eat chapatis?
50%.
Okay.
Or maybe 70% actually.
Okay, chapatis eaten per day. So notice what is happening as I'm doing this. These variable names are not easy to come up with, right? Because I'm being slightly imprecise. So if I had more time, I would think carefully and choose the right names. Okay, chapatis eaten per day should be what? Now, number of chapatis per person, right? Then I'm going to multiply by, you said 50%, right?
Yeah.
So we'll multiply by 0.5, okay?
Yes.
Times the population of India. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I put a bracket here just so I understand why this 0.5 is there, okay? Half. If you want, you can create a new variable. You should do all these things, okay? Take time and do it slowly and carefully, okay? Okay, then what happens? That's it, right? That's number of chapatis eaten per day. Per person, yeah, this seems right, okay? So let's look at what this number is. One letter is missing. Okay. Later I'll show you we can format this nicely, etc. So this is some number.
So
right?
Vijay, there is a difference in spelling
Still?
of chapatis eaten. Yeah.
Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. Yeah, there's a little lag, I think, back to you. Yeah. Okay, so I got some number. Okay. So now what? So okay, let me show you something quickly, which I'm going to use a lot. If I want to print this, I want to print a message here that tells me what this number means, right? So I would like to put some explanatory message here. So I'm going to show you a technique here. Usually in that message, I want to mix some English with the value of an identifier. So I can do something like this. The number of chapatis eaten in India per day. And then here I put a curly bracket and I put the variable name inside it, okay? Does that make sense? So basically I'm telling Python, can you please make this string for me? And inside the string, evaluate this variable and include its value. And that's a special kind of string that's getting created. So you have to actually put a letter F in front of the string. These are called interpolated strings or formatted strings, right? So if I now do this, I get a nice message. So let me pause for a second. Sachin, you've done this in other languages. How do you like this technology?
Yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah, it's nice, right? It's an easy one. Yeah. Later, I'll show you. You can control the format of this display. You can put commas and round it and all that stuff. It's very easy. Okay, I won't do it right now just to add too much technology here. Okay, so we got this. Now, what are we interested in? I want to get the height. Yeah. So how will we get the height?
Pass variable into thickness.
Yeah. So chapatis eaten per day times, I can by the way, I can do calculations in here as well. Times.
Thickness.
Yeah. By the way, if you hit tab, it will complete the name of the variable, right? Okay, so what do we get? We got some number. Okay, so what this is going to be in what? This is going to be in millimeters, which is too small, right? So it's a small number, it's a small unit. So let's convert this into kilometers. So how do you go from millimeters to kilometers? Anyone you know? If you don't know, tell.
Multiply 10 to the power 6.
10 to the power, I'm going to divide, okay? Yeah, 10 to the power 6. Yeah, 1000 millimeters is a meter, 1000 meters is a kilometer, right? So 10 power minus 6. So let me put minus 6 here. Multiplied by 10 star minus 6. Just want to put a bracket. Okay, we'll come to operator precedence in a second. You don't need this, but just for me to read it, okay? Okay. So what do we get? 13,000 kilometers, right? So I can even put the units here. Okay, so now how high is 13,000 kilometers? You want to compare it
8
with
kilometers Mount Everest.
Okay, that's a good one, Praveen. 8 kilometers. So it's nice to have some idea of this, right? I mean, Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on the planet Earth. So I don't have to do this. This is homework for you. But compare it. You divide this by 10 even. That's 1300 times Mount Everest. Yes. So you have some idea. Okay, and I will leave it as a homework exercise. I give you this as an example to say, look, we can ask any kind of question. And if we just spend a little time breaking it down into small pieces, we can get to an answer. And very often the answers are surprising. Right? Because we never thought about it this way. It's very surprising what this conclusion is. I will also say one more homework type of assignment here. We just made it into a pile like this. You can make it, I just stacked the chapatis like this. You can convert it into number of grains of wheat. And then you can convert it and ask the question, how many tons of wheat is consumed every day? Then you can ask the question, if I want to store all this wheat in a place, how much storage will I need? Right? These are all very important topics. And the deeper you get into them, they get more and more interesting. By the way, I know Praveen has a background in economics. So Praveen, all these questions are very interesting economic parameters for a country, I guess, right? Wheat production, wheat consumption. You want to make a comment about it? Sorry, Praveen, I don't know if you're lagging or quiet.
It wasn't audible.
Yeah, there was
Wasn't
lag.
audible.
So it's interesting problem. I mean, from economics point of view as well.
Yes. Yes. And there are also side things. I'm just saying this to tell you guys, please dig deep into anything you look at. You're going to find something interesting. So for example, you will notice that for every kilogram of wheat that is consumed, you ask the question, how much wheat do we lose in transportation? For example, rats consume huge amount of produce. So I'm just saying there's lots of places where things can be improved and it's all fun. Okay, let's move on. So next, but before I move on, let me get some quick moment. Was it interesting to think about problems like this? Too easy, too hard, what? Sorry, Sachin, you said something?
I said it's interesting. I have a question actually. So in this problem actually, we can say the population of India can be fixed, but other things like thickness of chapati or the size of chapati can never be fixed. Okay. So it's the people thinking, how I am thinking, how you thinking, how others thinking, right?
Correct.
Done that, this calculation will be changed.
Correct. This calculation will be changed, but of course, I'm saying that for any given instance of this calculation, those variables are all kind of constant, right? While I'm doing the calculation, I'm not changing. So it's not a dynamically changing variable, right? It's not like a. Of course, if you really
you could make the problem a little more complex by giving different widths of different chapatis, different types of chapatis and parathas. You can include types.
Yeah, you can say you can say North Indian chapatis are thicker, South Indians are thinner, or whatever, and you will get some fun things here, right? Same thing, you can switch this and say how much rice is consumed, right? And so on. So I think these are all very staggering. I'm saying that these are all very staggering. Like, for example, I read economics from Economist the other day I was reading. It gives a stat, how many chickens are there on the planet, right? Anyone want to tell me how many chickens are on the planet?
I'm not in FMCG department.
Anyone want to even guess? Anyone want to even guess how many chickens are on this planet?
So I'll slightly modify this question.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere about rats. They are 6 times the population of human being on this planet.
There you go. So it's the world human population is 6 billion. So I think Praveen is saying there are 36 billion rats. Okay,
yeah,
but
yes,
chicken ratio will be 1:8, so 48 billion probably.
Yeah. So actually, I think the actual number was like somewhere there, 6 or something chickens per person. So so it's very large, right? I'm saying you can, when we think about these things, we get some very interesting things to do, and Python just makes it very easy for us, right? So this is a nice playground for us to just get familiar with all these things. Same thing I was thinking, Indian election is going on. You want to know how long does it take to count all the votes, right? If it's automated, it's one thing. If it's a manual, it's another thing. I don't know. Is India all automated, or how is the vote counting? Is
so
it all?
it's all automated. Most of it is automated.
So it's easy to tamper with the votes. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so now let's go to the, just 2 ideas here we did how to use variables. We did how to use expressions, make more complex combinations. We also learned this idea of how to use the print statement in conjunction with F strings, right? And we'll use these F strings a lot going forward, all over the place. By the way, F strings are a little new in Python. I like them very much. So there are other ways of doing print if you want. Of course, you can convert everything to strings and concatenate and so on. But I think this is the cleanest one. So I'll just stick with this. If you have questions, you can come back and ask me. I'll show you other ways. Okay. Okay. So now let's go to the next idea here. Very important idea. Python, clearly the variables in Python or the identifiers in Python don't have a label associated with them, right? I mean, they don't have whether it's integer or not. But actually, Python will actually look at the right-hand side and automatically assign a type to the variable. So you see, you say print type of X, it will print. Okay, I'm going to go back to my notebook. Let me know if it's a little too hard for you to follow, okay? Okay, so there are 3 kinds of types in Python. So let me just state them. There's integers. What is very interesting is actually integers can be quite large. If one of you wants to try to, you've heard of this idea that in certain languages, there's a max int, And you must ask the question, if I go beyond this max, then what happens, right? If you keep on adding 1 to an integer, eventually will it overflow and crash, or will it keep running forever? It's a very interesting question. We won't get into it right now, but I'll just say there's an integer. Then there's floats. Okay, again, I'm telling you this because later you should come back and say, maybe I need more information about these things. But these are all very deep things. So I want to highlight to you that even in the simplest parts of our programming experience, there are deep questions. For example, to make an integer, how do I make an integer that does not crash if it gets too big? Right? That would not be a good thing. Same thing. Next one is floats. So I want to have decimals somewhere, but if I have only finite amount of memory, I cannot represent a real number, because real numbers can have infinite number of digits. So if I have only finite amount of space, I'm going to truncate. At some point, I'm going to say I'm going to use no more than some X number of digits for a particular number. That will cause errors. So, right, managing these errors is very important. And a lot of bugs have been created when people don't understand these things. Like if you write software for a bank and you start truncating and its actual payments and so on, these things can add up, right? So anyway, the next type is string. Okay, so 3 types, easy to create them. Whenever you encounter a type, you must ask, how do I create them? So here's a way to create them. And then the last thing is, how do I check what is the type of something? There's a function called type. You pass an identifier to it or a value to it, it will tell you what the type is. Okay, so all of you should just quickly write this and just check. You know, you can say, what is the type of Z, for example. It'll tell you this. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to say, okay, when you understand types, you're going to, whenever I introduce a type to you, in your mind, you should ask.
Yeah, Vijay, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Kiran, Sachin, Praveen, do you need, like, after Vijay gives the demo, do you need like 1 or 2 minutes to go back to your Jupyter notebook and work it out? Because I feel probably it will be very difficult while listening to him and doing it at the same time. Do you feel the need to have some?
Yeah, stop me. Good point.
Okay, for me, I think I'm very comfortable while Vijay is going on, and I can try later after this class is over.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, Kiran, Sachin, Praveen, I would like for us to don't go passive on me.
Yes.
I really am trying to create a situation. I'm going to pause in various places and make you do stuff like we did that exercise.
Yeah, the idea is just not listen to it. Like probably during the class itself, you should be typing. So if you need like a couple of minutes break between each cell, that's fine. Over 30 seconds or 1 minute break so that you can flip back to your Jupyter notebook and work it out. That's perfect. That's fine.
Yeah. Because I'm saying that to all of you, this idea of just passively listening, like listening to a lecture, is not necessarily the best way to absorb material. Okay, will just some of it you will retain and some you won't. So why don't we just pause a little? I don't have to rush anywhere. So take the time and type them. I'll give you time to type. You just have to tell me I need a couple of minutes more. Just proactively tell me, okay? And when I check saying, is there enough time? Just let me know. Is that okay? Are we going to try, all of us? I need to hear yes, no, maybe.
I'm okay for both the options.
Yeah. Let's type a little, okay? I think it's a good thing, okay? What about Kiran and Praveen? You will type as well?
Yeah, I have typed and it's working.
Yeah. Kiran, Praveen, are you going to type as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just a second.
Yeah, I can try typing.
Yeah. Try and then we'll learn something from the experience, okay? So let me now go to the next important thing. The next important thing is, once I give you or you introduce or you meet a new type, we have to know 2 things. What is its structure? You know, what is its definition? And then what behaviors are natural to a type? So here, for example, I can join, if I have a string, then a behavior is like, how does it respond to the addition operation? Right? Like I can add 2 integers. What happens when I add 2 strings? And what happens when I multiply 2 strings? Right? So can all of you write these 2 lines and then tell me what happened and tell me what's the meaning of plus and star?
Yeah.
So what is +2 and what is *2?
Vijay, on my screen it doesn't come as 0.8. So is it okay? The type conversion comes without number.
Where is it? Which one?
You see 0.8 type conversion on your screen? Just underneath the result or underneath the place where you're typing.
Where is 0.8? I don't see a point. Oh, that one? Oh, don't worry. That's okay. You just need a blank cell.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. I mean, just follow. When I tell you type something, yeah, your notebook should look something like this. I think you have this, right? It should look like this or whatever. Let me see. Yeah, here, like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
just have cells. Yeah. Screens like this, yes.
Yeah, so create some identifiers with different types and print them out, okay? So now, okay, so what I'm saying is just do this. All I said is, okay, so now this is good. I can just show you one feature now. I want a blank cell. I want to type something in it, right? And I told you in this cell, you're going to create 2 strings and add them and 2 strings and multiply them. So to create a blank cell, let me show you what you can just basically in a cell, if you hit Alt Enter. So right now you learned Shift Enter to execute a cell. If you hit Alt Enter, it will execute a cell and create a blank cell below it. Okay, so that you can type something new. Also, there's one more way to create a blank cell, which is you can hit Escape. So notice when are you guys able to see my screen? Watch carefully. Okay, when I hit Escape, this cell will become blue. You see this thing going from green to blue? When I click in the cell, it becomes green. When I hit Escape, it becomes blue. So when I hit Escape, I'm putting the whole session in a command mode. So there are 2 modes. There's an edit mode and a command mode. So when I click on a cell, I'm in edit mode. When I hit Escape, I'm in command mode. In command mode, if I type B, I'll get a blank cell below. Okay, so that's another way to create blank cells. So let me recap quickly. There are 2 ways to create blank cells to work in. You either hit Alt Enter or you hit Escape B. And for those who, by the way, I want you to try to learn some keystrokes. So to learn keystroke, of course, you can just do this here. There's a drop down here to say insert cell above and below. For those who like menus, you can do it through the menus, but I would prefer that you do it through keystrokes. Now, this is a homework assignment for you to learn keystrokes. If you click on this help page, there's keyboard shortcuts here. You click on keyboard shortcuts, you'll get a lot of shortcuts, okay? So don't get overwhelmed and try to learn everything. Just right now, I'll give you little by little shortcuts as we go along. Just pick them up, okay? But if you want a reference, it's here. So let me pause. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now just one more thing. So Escape. So now let me just tell you one more thing about Jupyter. So we are working here. I have just created a blank cell like this. You notice on the left hand side, they're all code cells. By default, they are code cells. Sometimes I want to type some information. So I need a markdown cell. So first of all, how do I know it's a code cell? Because this IN bracket is here. But if you look in this window here, there's a drop down here. It says that it's a code cell. When it says code here, it means it's a code cell. Okay. If I want to convert it to markdown, I can just click on this drop down and choose markdown. We'll change it to markdown. But if I prefer to use shortcuts as I told you, so I will put it in escape mode and then hit M for markdown. And now I can type whatever I want. So here, let us say, whatever, we are going to concatenate 2 strings, right? So we'll say operations on strings. I'm just writing a note for myself. So when you are making the notebook, you can add some comments to yourself, right? So here, let us see how star and plus work on strings. Okay, so that'll give you a little thing here, and now you can do your work here. Make sense? I'll show you more and more markdown as we go on. Okay, but please ask me questions, then I'll know how your mind is working. Okay, so now so Kiran, is this clear? So now I want you to create 2 strings. I don't know, you can call it S1 and S2, and then just create 2 strings. I don't know. Hi, there. Okay, now I want you to try. Okay, so let me say this. I think for strings, I just left it undefined. But for strings, you must use a single quote to create strings. Okay, you can also use a double quote, but we'll come to that later. Just now, just use a single quote to create strings. Okay, so you got two strings. Now, can you print out the addition of them?
Yes.
Okay, and print out the multiplication of them. And tell me what does it produce?
Multiplication is giving me error.
Okay. So that is correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Multiplication is giving error because it doesn't make sense to multiply two strings, right? So it's giving error. Addition is giving what?
It's like concatenation of both the are there. Yeah.
Exactly. Concatenation. Okay. So let's change one of these strings to a number, an integer. So do 5s1. Now tell me what does it do?
Yeah, so it's like the number of times you are multiplying the same string is like being replicated the same time.
So multiplication is like replicate.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a Python shortcut. It's very convenient, especially when you're learning Python. It's very helpful. Okay, so later I'll show you where you can use the star. But it is a metaphor that is very important for us to understand. When we meet a new type, we should know what kind of operations are there on it. Now, strings are very complicated types, so we will spend a lot of time on string. Okay. Okay. What about Kiran and Praveen? You are there with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Praveen?
I think he just dropped out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So now next thing is, so we have types now. Now we have type conversions. Okay. So let's ask this question. So for example, I think Praveen is coming back. Praveen, are you back? Are you there? Oh, yeah. Hi, Praveen. Are you there?
Yeah, we joined.
Yes. Are you with us? Are you able to follow along?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. Okay. So let me talk about the next idea, right? So for example, when I have a variable like this, it's a string. We said that you have plus, it concatenates two strings. But now I create this identifier x equals 5 and I'm trying to concatenate it and I get an error, right? Can you replicate this in your notebook? So here, I'm saying, so create a variable name equals whatever, some name. Okay. And then I can concatenate it with some message, right? So I can say print, hi, my name is, and instead of using f strings, let's just use plus, okay? And just like this. Oops. So is everyone with me here? Do all of you have this?
Yes.
Yeah, Sachin's there. Kiran, you?
Yes, I'm typing.
Okay, take your time, type.
Yes.
Okay, so now I want you to just copy this. So this really works. Now I want you to just copy this, and instead of name, let's make it an identifier. Let's call it n, and set n is equal to 5 for now. And I just concatenate n here. What will happen? Run it and let's look what happens.
It gives a type error.
Okay, so first thing I want to tell, of course, you guys are a little bit more advanced here, so I don't have to tell this, but I'll still tell this. The instinctive response to an error is to be unhappy. But I think we should switch it and say that, especially in programming, errors are good things because they tell us there's a problem and we can go fix it. And I will make a philosophical comment. Maybe in life also we should switch and say sometimes when things break, it's not a bad thing. It helps us go and find what is the problem and fix it. Okay. So as long as you have a positive attitude towards it, I think it's good. So now, of course, when you see an error, Python is clearly helping us very well, right? It's telling us on this line 5, there's a problem. And line 5 is this line here. And it's saying that there's a type error. Something must be a string, not an integer. The only thing that's an integer there is a variable n. And it's basically saying, I don't know how to add an integer and a string. So my question is, if you didn't know anything else, conceptually, how would you fix this problem? What's the fix for this problem?
Either like make a variable as a string or something, you can use a function actually to cast it.
Correct. So you see, exactly, casting. So basically, we now see that there's a need to convert one type into another when we want them to work together, right? You cannot always keep them as different types. So here, maybe the easiest thing is to make the integer into a string. There's a function, it's called the string constructor, it's str. Okay, so you just pass the integer to this function str, which is the string constructor, and it'll make everything fine. So what was the moral of is everybody able to do that quickly?
Okay, I have a small problem
Yes,
which
yes.
I'm seeing on my screen.
Yes.
So that, for example, I type the name is.
So I think Praveen faded out.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Now I can. Yes.
Yeah. So I entered the name equal to Ram in quotes, and then plus. So initially I did not put Ram in quotes. That's why it was throwing some error probably.
Yes.
Now again I have corrected that as per what you have written, exactly the same thing. But when I enter, do a shift enter, it doesn't show me anything.
Okay. So quickly do one thing, Praveen. Just paste in chat what you have as code. Just copy and paste it into chat.
I think Vijay, I'm good now. I got it. There is some lag because of which there was delay, so I can see the printout now. Yeah.
Now I will say this to you, to all of you, that you're actually using a cloud-hosted instance, especially from India. Maybe there's a little lag when you execute things. Okay, it's possible. If you notice it, let me know. We'll talk about it more. Okay. Okay, so we're all good. So now the next thing is quickly, but it's important. Often in programs, you want to interact with the user. So you have this thing called input. It's a function input. It takes one parameter for now. It's a message, whatever message you want to give to the user. And then it will return whatever the user types on a prompt, right? So for example, if I execute this, see, it gives me a prompt like this. Usually think of this like a terminal program. Then there's a prompt and it's asking you for something. But here the prompt looks nicer because it's embedded in the notebook, okay? So if I type something here, it will basically, the input function will grab it from the user input and store it into the variable called name. And then I can just print it out or do whatever I want with this variable. But with this short example, now you're ready to write programs that interact with the user, not with a GUI user, but a command line user, for example. Okay? So now, why don't we all work together on this programming challenge? So who's going to be? So I want all of you to just help each other, ask questions, etc. So write a program to ask the user to enter an integer value and display the square of the value entered. So who wants to be project manager? We'll do agile development here. Yes. Oh, Kiran, did something not work for you?
Yes, Vijay, that string convert function didn't work for me.
What?
So
Okay.
first name equal to 5 is a misprint. What I have shown here. Even if I corrected that, conversion to string didn't work for me.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just copy it and see what's going on. Okay. So let me just do this Alt Enter, paste your code in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's see. First name equals 5. Second name equals Lovelace.
So that 5 is without quotes now. So my actual code doesn't contain quotes in 5.
Okay, I'll take off the quotes. So what should happen here now when you do it? It should give me an error first, right? Gives me an error, but where is it pointing to the error? What's the error pointing to?
First print.
Yeah, the first print. Notice, huh? Kiran, are you with me?
Yes, Vijay.
Where is the error pointing to? The first print, as Sachin pointed out? Yes. So
Yes.
what are we doing in the first print? We are joining together what and what? An integer and a string, and it's saying I cannot do this. Yes.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So if we want this code to, if we want this code to work, we have to take out the first print. For example, I can put a comment here by putting a hash in there. We talk about comments,
Oh,
but
okay. All
now
right.
everything should be good, right?
Got it. Yes.
Okay.
I should
By
have
the way,
removed that first one.
yes. By the way, the name is actually Lovelace. Does anybody know who is Ada?
That was a print error.
It's okay. Does everybody know who is Ada Lovelace?
Sorry, Vijay, what was the question?
Who is Ada Lovelace? So I'll type the name here. Ada Lovelace. Do you know who is Ada Lovelace?
I think Praveen can tell something.
Praveen? Yeah. Why do you think Praveen can tell?
No.
Praveen is like, let me find Wikipedia quickly. Okay, so let me tell. Okay, I tell this because I want you to be inspired. Ada Lovelace was one of what we might call today the first lady programmer. Okay, and there was a time when people were trying to build mechanical computers. Okay, and Ada Lovelace comes, so it's an old story, right? So so you should definitely Wikipedia Ada Lovelace and see. But the story is she actually worked with the mathematical community, and she was interested in working on mechanical computers and writing the first programs. Right? In a prehistoric time, there was no silicon or computers. Okay, so a very, very interesting story. They built this huge machine, which was a mechanical computer. It was using gears and pulleys and levers to do calculations. So please take a minute and read Wikipedia Ada Lovelace and read a little bit about her. Very inspiring story. But the second part of that story is also interesting. These were people who were not doing this as part of their profession. She was not a scientist or anything. She was just an ordinary person. But they had so much interest in these things that in their spare time, they went and worked on all these things. So maybe that's inspiration to all of us in our spare time to work on cool things. So 50 years later, we will be saying, who is Kiran? And then somebody will tell something. What do you say, Kiran? Is there a plan?
No, Vijay, I don't have any such plan.
No, I'm saying that it can be a good plan, right? If you work hard, I'm saying all kinds of things are possible. Okay, I won't push it. So now, programming challenge. Write a program. So are we all here now? So write a program to ask the user to enter an integer value, display the square of the value entered. So how are we going to do this? Let's do it together, all three of you, all five of us. What's the first step? Come on, Sachin, you should lead the group this time. It's your job to ask them questions and give them some direction.
So like first declare a variable type of integer and some value for the user to enter.
Okay, so what shall we call the variable?
So like
yeah, someone. Okay, I will propose. Let's just call it n for now. Okay, n for number. Okay. So how will I get user prompt?
So using the print function or something, we can print it out.
Yeah. So to get the user in is the input function. Okay. So what is the message we want for the user?
Any message actually. Enter the number.
Enter a number.
Okay, enter a number. Okay. I usually put a colon and a space so it looks nice. Okay, so I get a number. Now what next?
Now we can make a the function or something to print it out as a square of that number.
Okay, so let me say that. Okay, so we don't need a function because I could just, how do I get the square of n? How do I get the square of
n?
N into n is enough. Okay, or n star 2. Okay, but okay, so I will just print a message, right? So print, what is the message we want here?
The square is?
Yeah, the square of what?
The square of the number entered is?
Of the square of, why don't we just put the number there? Okay, square of n is, so here I'll put is, put the bracket, and I like n star 2, okay, but if you want n times n also you can put. And remember, I must put an f in front, yeah? It's an f string. Okay, and then try to run it. Okay, something happened.
What is that f, Vijay?
F tells Python that this is a special kind of string. If I take out the f, it doesn't know that these bracket, it will just print out this.
Okay.
Let me show you right now. If I take out this, the input question. So let me say n equals 2 for now, okay? So this is a nice style to write a program, by the way. When you want a user input, just hard code a value first and later you can get the input, okay? So n equals 2 and now I run this program. So, okay, in this case, I'm first trying to show you what does f do. I take out the f, right? Now, if I print it, you see what do you see on the screen, Kiran? Can you read my screen?
Yes.
What is it saying?
The square of n is n to the power 2.
So it's not doing what we want. I want it to replace n with the value 2 and n squared with the value 4, yes?
Yeah.
That will only happen if I put f there. Make sense?
Okay.
So that's the role of f. It's called an interpolated string. That means it looks inside the string, wherever there's a curly bracket, inside the curly bracket, whatever variables are there, it will calculate the value of those variables and paste it in.
Okay.
So this f string is very powerful, yes? It's very cool. Otherwise, you have to keep converting integers into strings and concatenating. Let me show you if I don't use an f string, if I try to do the same thing, it will look like, well, it can look like this. There are other techniques too, but for example, you have to do this, right? You have to do square of, then here you have to basically convert, sorry, this is all very painful. You have to convert this into using str into a string, right? And then I think Sachin would have done a lot of this with VB, right? Sachin, when you're writing code?
Yeah, I'm writing.
Yeah. No, I'm saying when you write VB code, you do all this, right? You do plus str.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. See how nuisance this is, Kiran. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very long and tedious, right? I have to keep doing all this stuff. So this is an alternate way to do the same thing. Which one is better?
The previous code is better.
Exactly. So that's why I didn't even want to show you this. Okay, you don't want me to type any more of this, right?
We'll leave the plus sign.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to delete it. I don't need this, right? So I'm going to just work with f strings. Okay, so let's go back to our input problem. So what happened? Why did I get an error? Does everybody have this code now?
So I think Vijay, I'm answering from my previous Python experience that n here has been used as a string by default.
Correct. Well, so let me just say what Kiran said. Input always returns a string, right? Whatever the user enters, whether he enters a float or a boolean or anything he enters, input always returns a string. But this n squared is requiring you to have a integer, right? Or a float. So we should convert it. So we need a type conversion. So the type conversion here is I need to convert the string to an integer. And I always prefer to convert it at the moment of creation. So if you put this I and t here, that's the int constructor. It'll convert the string into an integer. Now if you run the code, everything should be good. Does everybody have this? Let me know once you finish typing.
Okay.
So it doesn't allow any like space actually after like using this argument f. Like it's giving me error if I use any space after f.
Correct. It has to be f, and then the quote must be right away.
Yes. Yeah.
Praveen, Kiran, are you good with this example?
Yes, we are typing the example, Vijay. Is it okay?
Yeah. Take your time. Just let me know when you're done. Okay. Don't. As soon as you're done, just tell me. Sachin, what? Let me ask you. Since you probably finished this, right? You finished typing.
Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah, that is done. Actually, I'm changing my code actually to see the result actually.
Okay. No, let me ask you while you're typing quickly. Is this space okay for you, or you're feeling bored?
Can we fix it actually? Because I think actually other programming language, if you have a space actually, so it should not give me error. It was giving me error, so I thought, why is giving me error? It's the same code actually I'm writing. Then I was thinking like, there is some space. I removed it and it was working fine. So that is why I asked question actually, why is that?
Sure. No, it's correct, because what Python is doing here is it's saying that there's f. So let me write it in a new line.
But I believe actually quote is the part of a string actually you are writing with the square of this actually.
No, what I'm saying is Python is thinking that f quote is a special yeah, f quote is a special kind of string, right? So if you put a space between, then it says f is some kind of char or something. It doesn't even know what it is, because it's if you give just f, it becomes a variable really for Python, right? And in undefined letter without quotes, if I put anything like this, f for n like I have here, n is a variable. So then it says there's a variable and a string, and what is the point? How am I supposed to join them? And it complains. But when you remove the space, it says, oh, it's a new type of string. I know what to do, right?
So similar to this other kind of argument for this other function like print or any other function, we have to write it like this.
No, so what I'm saying is this. So let me just say this f string, right? Really, it's actually a new type of string. So that I put it inside print, but let me do it like this if it makes it more clear to you. Let me create a new variable a new identifier called s, right? And I take out this print for now, right? So actually, let me just display s. Oh, okay. So you see what happened here? It's actually creating a string for me, right? A special kind of string where the f is telling Python, please generate an interpolated string. It's a templated string, right? You might have used templates in ASP.NET, right? Remember, like you put this. Yeah. So you put some variable inside some angle bracket. I think it used to be like that. I forgot. I haven't looked at it recently. Does it look like this? Some percent like this, right?
Yes, looks like that actually, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the same idea, right? But instead of this angle bracket, it's using curly bracket.
Yes.
So it's like that same idea. What we have in ASP templates is the same idea here, but without percent bracket, it's using curly brackets, and it's inside a string. So Python needs two pieces of information. The curly bracket says it's a templating thing, and then that f is telling it's inside the string there's a template sitting. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit of complicated thing, but I think the user experience is good when we work with it. But the question is valid. Okay. So if you don't want to display a string also, but you want to create some complicated string with variables in it, you can use the f string, right? Store it in your code. Yeah. So is everyone good with this or not?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so this one is done. So now let's go to the next one. So now we're going to go to loops, okay? And so basically, that's some powerful construction. Clearly, let's just look at the syntax here for a minute, okay? So in general, when you want to loop, you need to loop over something. In Python, what it does is it creates what's called a sequence. So here there's a sequence, and a sequence is created by this function called range, right? So range has a structure here. I have some little bit of more notes here. Yeah, so let's just run it, I guess. Okay. So so range is like this, right? So I have a range function. It creates for me a sequence of values, and then when I use a for construct here, it goes to the sequence and pulls out the value every time, stores it in a variable called I, and then I can print it. Okay, so can everybody just quickly try this first? I think it's already in your notebook. You just have to execute it maybe. Does everybody have this? Does everybody have this cell or no? Not yet. Kiran, Praveen, are you done? Why is it taking time?
I think I didn't follow you. What do we have to do? This is already there in the...
I know, so just hit shift enter.
We need to?
Hit shift enter. Execute it one more time.
Shift.
Okay, so now that I said to Kiran, hit shift enter, I want all of you to notice this. Each time you hit shift enter on something, this counter here on the left hand side gets incremented. Okay, so hit shift enter one more time, you see it went from 26 to 27. So that helps you know if this has been recently executed, right? In particular, it tells me that it has been executed after the previous line. Okay, so just okay. Anyway, so you've just executed this. So now let's take a minute. All of you have the same output. So what?
It's not working for me.
Huh?
It's not working for me.
What is it saying?
So it's saying giving me message.
Okay. So yes, you touched on a very, very important point. Very good. Thank you, Sachin. So this is very important, right? I did it this way. So let me just take a minute. I think it's very similar to VB, Sachin, that Python uses indentation to figure out where the brackets are. VB also uses indentation, right?
Correct, yeah.
So that's the idea. So make sure it's one tab over. Okay, so then it will work.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yep.
Good. So now let's look at the output and tell me what's the starting value
0.
and the ending value.
Oh, like the range actually defined -1.
Okay. Is this the same behavior in VB, Sachin?
No. Because it's like in the actually the power builder, I remember we declare the initialization value for the variable I. Whatever the value we declare, it range start from there actually.
Okay, so So, but by default, is the ending value 1 minus the last value specified or no?
No.
It goes up to 10.
Yes.
Yes. So here, this is a very important thing. Okay. So, but anyway, so first thing is, if I want to start from, so everyone should think about this. Suppose I want to start from 1, then range actually takes another parameter, which will tell me where to start from.
Oh.
So I can start from 1 and end at, but it'll always end at stop minus 1. Okay. And then the last parameter, so let me just put this here because I want all of you to remember this. Start, stop, step. This is a triple of values that is used in Python in various places. And by default, if you don't specify, so notice that it's a very cool construction here. If you specify only one parameter, it will just use it as stop. And start will be defaulted. Start equals 0 by default. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like for range. So for example, if I write range 10, that's what it does, right? It says start equals 0, stop equals 9, and step equals 1. That's why we get this behavior. Does everybody follow this? Please ask me. This is very one time I'll explain, but it's important construction. Specify only one value. It assumes that the one value is the stopping value. Defaults the start value to 0 and the step value to 1. Does that make sense? Praveen, Kiran, Sachin?
So even if I give the start value, like let's suppose 1, comma 10. So it will start from 1, but it shouldn't, it goes to like the last number should be 10.
It always goes to 9. Okay, and I'll explain the logic. This is a source of many bugs. So yes, this is a little bit strange, but it actually, I'll explain why does it do this. What he's saying is, so let me write it like this, okay? So let me write 1, comma 10. And imagine for some reason you want to concatenate two ranges. Right? I want to create numbers from 1 to 20. First I create from 1 to 10. Then I want to create from 11 to 20 or something like this, right? So Python is saying if you want to concatenate ranges, you can do this. This is how you'll create numbers from 1 to 21. You see what I mean? That this in-between thing is actually, it looks like it's overlapping, but because on the left-hand side it stops 1 less than 10, it works. You understand what I'm saying? When you want to somehow create two ranges and look at them together, this convention of having 1 less than the ending value allows me to join two ranges together. Okay, but having said that, it's just annoying and confusing, and you just have to learn it, right? So always it has to be like this. The other reason for having 9 as the ending value is because the default is 0. If I want 10 elements, I still want to put 10 there because I'm thinking I want 10 elements. But then Python has to stop at 9 because if it stops at 10 and it's starting from 0, you'll get 11 elements.
Yeah.
So anyway, these are all words I'm saying to make it sound palatable, but you just have to know that's the behavior, okay? And it's a source of a lot of bugs, so it's okay to spend a minute thinking about it. So does start, stop, step, just to test it out, can we quickly print out? Let's print out all the numbers starting from 2 up to 20, even numbers from 2 to 20. Can we do this?
Yeah.
So, Kiran, how do we do this?
So let's divide by 2. If the remainder is 0, then like it will be.
No. So we're going to use something cleverer than this. No divisions. Just use start, stop, and step cleverly. So what would be the steps? I want even numbers. What steps can I take? If I step by 1, I'll get even and odd, right? If I step by 2,
it will be an even number.
Yeah, so I need to start from an even number and then take even steps. So what is the first even number?
So 2.
2. So we can start from 2 and up to 20 I want to go. So what is the stopping value?
21.
Yes, good. And then I want to go in steps of 2. So I'll just say 2. Now see what happens.
Yeah.
This is cool, right? No division, nothing. It's very clean.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So of course I want to highlight this, right? It's a cool feature. You don't need it all the time because usually the step is 1. By the way, since I'm saying this, what about if I want to go in descending order? I want to start from 20 and go backwards up to 2. Okay, Kiran, Sachin will do this, I think, but I'm going to put Kiran on the spot. Kiran, can you do this? Oh, Kiran is not there. He dropped off. Okay. Praveen, you want to try? Praveen's like, don't hassle me. Praveen, are you there? I can't hear from Praveen back. So Sachin, let's try to do it together. So how will you go backwards?
Okay. Vijay, can you repeat your question actually?
I have from 2 to 20 ascending order, right?
Okay.
I want to go from 20 back to 2 in descending order.
Okay. So 2 to 20. Okay. So let's
What is my starting value?
start. I think starting value will be 20.
20, correct? Stopping value?
Yeah, starting value will be 20 and the stopping value will be 1.
Okay. And steps up?
Steps of only 2.
The 2 will be increasing, no? I have to decrease. So I have to be -2.
Yeah, -2. Sorry.
Yes. No problem. Okay, so let's see what happens. So it's kind of cool, right? It's a very powerful, It's a very powerful construction.
Correct, yeah.
So it's just play with it. I mean, you can think about how you'll do this. Otherwise, you have to write complicated loops and index decrement and all these things, right?
Right.
Compare it with other things. It's very kind of cute. Okay, so let's. I don't know, Sachin. I think we lost Kiran. Is Praveen there?
Let me ping.
Yes, can you hear me?
There you are. Hi, Praveen. Are you with us? Did we lose you or something?
Yeah, no, it's fine. There was some lag, but I can see now.
Okay. So we're going to put you on the spot. Why don't you try to solve? You want to try to solve this, or you want to make Kiran do this? Kiran, did we lose you? Are you back?
Yeah, Kiran is going to join back actually.
Yeah. I think she's here, but I don't hear from her yet. Kiran, are you here?
Yeah, I have. Yes, Vijay, I have joined. Actually, Pallavi was trying to. Pallavi missed the session incidentally, so I have asked her to. So I forwarded the email. I hope that works.
Sorry, what? Tell me one more time. What did you say about Pallavi?
Pallavi missed the session. Vijay incidentally she has not got any emails, so I forwarded the email that I had received.
Yes.
And I also told her to check her spam box.
Yes, it's possible. Okay. Will you do the following, Kiran? If Pallavi needs, I can set up an extra session with her, and or you can set up some time with her just to get her caught up. No, let me know what is needed. Is that okay?
Yeah, Vijay, help whatever I can.
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat that again one more time? Sachin, you're hearing me clearly, right? The lag is on.
Yeah,
Kiran?
Vijay, you want to hear from me?
Sometimes there is a lag actually. Sometimes.
Okay.
Vijay, you want to hear from me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was saying, will you follow?
I feel the same lag actually while typing my code actually. The screen is actually slow.
So that's the internet lag, right? Because you're typing.
Yeah. It looks like an internet lag. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so Kiran, no, I'm saying you tell Pallavi to reach out to me. I can schedule some time with her just to get her caught up. But she can also spend time with you if she wants. I don't know which is better. Are you there, Kiran?
So I think she's having an internet issue. I think probably let's continue. I think.
Okay. Actually, it's almost getting time to wind up. No, Manish?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you want to finish quickly some other stuff, we should.
Okay. So Sachin.
One last question I have.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So let's suppose I understand the concept, like we created the constructed function and then print it out. So can't we do that actually the functions, like let's suppose two range for this one construction and then second construction, we can print it both together.
You mean you want to join two ranges together?
Yes.
Like, but just what? I mean, of course you can. This is not what you have in mind, right? Or you have this in mind. I could do this way.
Yeah. This is working actually. Yeah, I can check that this is working. But let's suppose, both print together actually. I know actually the programming language like we cannot do. We have to define the complete code. But here, because it's the Python, I thought maybe it will work. But it's not working.
But you mean you want to do something like this, right? Is that what you mean?
No. I want to like this actually.
Yeah.
Let me pick,
type in chat or something. Yeah. Type.
I want to do something like this actually.
Oh yeah, of course you can. So, but you want it nested, right? So what you're thinking of is a nested loop, no? So let me show you what we mean. So let me just do it like this. For j in range, let's make all ascending loops for now. Okay, Sachin?
Right. Got it. I got my point actually.
Yeah. But let me just do simply so others can follow as well, right? So if I do range 1 to 10, and for j in range, I don't know. Again, we can do 1 to 10 for now.
Yes.
And then I can print I and j, right? If I want to see it. So let's use all our powerful things to print out something fun. And now let's make it an F string. Okay, I have one more. Oops. Yeah. Notice, Sachin, I have to make sure my indentations are all correct, but you're a VB programmer, so you should have no problem with this. But yeah, I get something long, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's 10 times 10, that's going to produce 100 numbers. So let's make it a little smaller. Let's make 3 here and 2 here. Let's make 3 and 2. And let's actually, since we don't know what is I and what is j, let's even put that information here. I colon space and j colon space. So this will be a nice output.
Yes.
I don't need a plus here. Yeah. This construction. Yes. So is Pallavi here? Hi.
Vijay, Pallavi hasn't been able to join yet.
I see her on the
No,
screen.
yeah, she's there.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to say hello. Okay. Well, okay, when you get a chance. Okay, so since
Pallavi, can you unmute yourself?
Okay,
yeah,
okay. I didn't know I was on mute. Sorry, I'm speaking.
okay.
Hi, Vijay, and hi all. I'm really sorry.
No
There
no
was
problem.
a mix
No.
up. And I
So don't
okay.
worry. So let me say some things, right? Yes, looks like you didn't get the email for some reason. Check your spam folder for any
Yeah,
case.
I did. After Kiran told me, I just checked and it has come,
Yeah.
but it was
Okay.
I didn't know, and I'd missed all the messages because there was something going on at home, so I didn't take a call or check any messages.
Okay. So let's do the following. Let us. I'm happy to spend some time with you one-on-one.
Okay, that would be great.
Not one. I have one of my friend who is also interested. So like you can take a session of like both Pallavi and my friend actually together. So he will also join from next week maybe.
Can you help? Oh, okay. So can you help coordinate with your friend and can you just send an email? Copy
Sure.
them?
I'll do that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pallavi, I'm just thinking tentatively Monday or Wednesday in the evening. Is that possible for you?
Monday, I have calls till 7:30, so like be after that, yes, it is possible.
Okay.
Wednesday, I have calls only till 6:30, so after
So
6:30,
yeah. So can you just help with an email thread? Sachin will start it.
okay.
If his friend wants.
I think Vijay, Wednesday will work better because Pallavi in that time can go through the recording as well. She will have some idea and then she can discuss.
Perfect.
If anyone like Sachin also needs some more help, he can also join along with.
Yeah, all of you can join. I mean, there'll always be something interesting to discuss, right? I mean, I will give you something. I won't just. I mean, for them, I have to repeat some things, but you can always be working on something, and we can discuss more stuff.
Yeah. In case if you're interested, if you have some other queries because you are starting with Python as a first time. So, yeah.
Yes.
I will always, if you are there, I will give you some problem to solve, right? So while you're solving the problem, you can just hear the conversation in the background, or sometimes I'll ask you to explain something to others. That way we'll interact more. It's always a good thing, right? It's good to think out loud. Yeah. So Pallavi, don't worry, we'll get you caught up. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we are getting close to ending today. So I have to say something. I think I went a little slower than I wanted because I wanted to cover this whole notebook. But for now, you have the notebook just so you can look ahead, but don't get scared that there's so many things, okay? So I will go through everything step by step. Let me ask you, Sachin in particular, Kiran, you guys were on this session. Is this speed okay for you, or is it too slow, too fast? What?
It's good.
Okay. What about Kiran?
Yeah, Vijay, the speed is good. The speed is fine.
And Praveen?
Yes.
Yes. Now listen. Yeah, sorry, Praveen. Yes, tell me. Sorry, Praveen, I didn't hear you fully.
Yeah, I think the pace is good. Thank you.
Good, yes. Now listen, I'm relying on you to help me adjust the speed, okay? Then if you go slow, that means next session we're going to spend some time on this again. But then don't be disappointed that we didn't finish everything.
Yeah, I think the whole idea of this class is because you all are working, and we know that during the week you don't get enough time to get back and work on these things. So we want to make sure that during the session itself, though we are spending close to 2 hours, but you get most of the practice done during the session itself. You get the concepts and you get to work on the problems itself because everyone gets busy after you leave this session, right? But again, as Vijay said, just make sure that we are not going too slow or too fast.
Yes. You must tell me now. Don't wait for 4 sessions and say, oh my God, that was too slow. Yeah. What they say, as they say in Hindi, right, Manish, correct my Hindi. Kal kare so aaj kare so ab.
Yes, right.
So ab karenge. So if there's a problem, just tell me now, right? So yeah. Don't let it accumulate. Eh? I love the feedback.
I think Vijay, I'll take off, but I think it will be worthwhile to show Pallavi how to get to this Jupyter notebook.
Yes.
right? So that she can get started and she can spend some time over here.
Very good, very good. I'll wind up. I'll sign off with you guys, and then I'll show Pallavi how to get started. Okay, or you can stay. All of you can stay. No problem. If you're staying, so let's do this. Let's see how can I manage two different conversations at the same time. You have two interactive exercises here. Create a multiplication table, and create a. There are some 3 exercises here. So here, exploration for loops. Can you all of you see this? Can you try to solve these 2 things while I'm working with Pallavi? Kiran, Praveen? Sachin, you can do this, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, where's Kiran? And Praveen, what about you?
Yes, teacher, I'm happy to do. But DJ, I think you'll have to do a repeat session with Sachin's friend for the thing.
Sorry, Kiran, just repeat. Sorry, Kiran, just repeat one more time. I think Kiran's line is lagging a little bit.
Yeah, I think probably she can better type it on the chat.
Yeah. Kiran, can you type? Manish, you'll get that input back from Kiran if she can work on this while I'm working with Pallavi. Okay. Pallavi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So let's go here, Pallavi. So there's this acads.org. There should be a link from the web page. Can you go to that web page?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually came from the live session on web page itself.
Okay. So you went to the do you see a screen which looks like kind of like this?
Yes, course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have a button here on the right that says resume course, start course or something?
Yeah, resume course.
Yeah, just click on that. It's okay. I don't know what it does, but anyway, let's be resumed. Okay. It takes you to the page. Don't worry. On the left-hand side, you see this course tab, course thing on the top. Just click on it, and I want you to be on a page which looks like this. Yeah. So ignore. I think resume course is not doing anything. Ignore it.
Yeah, I'm already there. Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I want you to do 2 things. You don't have to do this right now. So you click on this drop-down. It shows you what's inside the sessions. Okay. Here, there's a thing which says pre-course survey.
Okay.
If you click on this,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a little bit of time to load up. When you click on pre-course survey, do you see something which looks like this?
Yeah, I had got that. Okay.
Yeah. And the bottom, there's a link here. If you click on this link, it will take you to a survey page. Okay. So if you click on this, it will take you to a survey page.
Mm-hmm.
Just fill it out. Okay. Just want to know what are your background. I also think it's a good way for you to organize your plans when you said starting a course.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to get out of it, blah, blah, blah. So I will read it afterwards and I will know more about what you want to achieve. Okay, so that will help.
Okay.
And then when I finish the course, we can always go back and look at it and say, what did I want when I started and I did get that when I finished. Okay. So now back to this page. So let's go back to the course page, the main page. And then here, the session 1, if it's collapsed, you expand it, session 1.
Okay.
And then here, basically, so I expand this overview thing. And you should see something which says session overview and course setup. Right? You see something?
It looks slightly different. I'll just go to that one. I have something coming on top, like, it's a horizontal navigation, not the vertical one. So
Okay. Oh yeah, that's because you've already clicked in there. That's all. Just go back to the course. Click on the course tab here. On top.
Okay.
And then just expand it like this, right? It should look like. Can you make it look like this?
I don't get those hyperlinked. Maybe I'll go through it the other way. I'll just do that one.
Yeah, it's okay. They're all the same, is what I'm saying, right?
Right. Okay.
So yeah. So if you click on, but I want you to be in session. So for example, if you click on something, you'll get what you're saying, this other type of navigation thing, right? Sorry. So it'll look like this, and you can navigate by using previous and next.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah. So I want you to be in a session which is labeled, if you hit previous here, everything takes a second to load. Okay, so if you think nothing is happening, just wait.
Okay, so 1.2. Okay.
1.2, right? You should see something like this.
Yes, I'm able to
And
see one.
here, there should be this link here. It says cloud hosted Jupyter instance.
Yeah, got it.
If you click on it, it should take you to a page which looks like this. Well, my page looks different. All that you need is at the top right hand corner, there should be a sign in option. There's a survey thing in between, just exit out.
Okay.
The top right hand corner, there should be a sign in option.
Got it.
If you click on sign in,
Mm-hmm.
you will have an option, just use a Microsoft login. Right? I think you're using a Windows machine, your Microsoft login should work. Just say login.
Yeah, but it's trying to take my client ID.
What is your client ID?
No, it's like my office client ID. It's taking. I'll just.
No, just put whatever some dot at hotmail.com, right? And then use the login. You don't have to use a Windows current machine login. Just use any email address.
Okay.
But it has to be a Microsoft email address. That's all. Hotmail.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to be Hotmail. That's what I've used. I have to try without Hotmail and see what happens.
Okay.
So are you signed in?
Mm-hmm. I'm signing in.
Yeah. Let me know when it finishes.
Okay, just.
So Sachin, you finished your problem or what?
Yeah, working actually. It's giving me some errors, so fixing that.
Okay. What about Kiran and Praveen? Are you doing these two problems? Kiran? Sachin, you have to prompt Kiran to work on the problem.
Vijay had got locked. Yep.
You got what? Locked or lost?
I was logged off. I was thrown out of the meeting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
You were not thrown anywhere, Kiran. You're here. Okay, so you're working on this multiplication table and for loops. Please interrupt me and ask questions. I'm working with Pallavi to set her up. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This should be too easy for you, Kiran. Yes. Okay. So okay. So Pallavi, you here? Did you get to that page?
I'm almost in.
What is just internet is slow?
No, I had to do it in the incognito mode so that it doesn't use my AD account. So just.
There should be an option saying use another account. No.
No, like when you have saved yes, right, for your login ID, it doesn't come. Yeah, I'm in.
Yes. I think Sachin is done with his things. Yes. So once you're in, you see some screen that looks like this, kind of like this, right? Like you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes.
So on the left here, first of all, on the top here, there's a clone option.
Mm-hmm.
You click on clone. So clone will copy everything from my workspace to your workspace. So you click on,
everything same. I just click clone again.
Yeah, just once.
Yeah, no, I got a pop-up on that also.
Yeah. That just allows you to say the name if you want to name it anything, but otherwise just you can use the default.
Okay, did that.
So now you have something which looks like this, kind of like this. It looks like this.
Yes.
But what is important here is there's an arrow here. It is run on free compute. You click that. You click that arrow.
Okay.
If you click that arrow, you will get something which looks like this.
Yes.
And here, just double click on this thing. Intro to Python.
Okay.
And then you will get something which looks like this.
Okay. Table of contents. Yeah.
Yes, so this is what we want to discuss. Okay, I thought we'll discuss the whole thing, but we only discussed half of it. Okay,
Oh,
but
okay. Okay.
but it's okay. So first of all, let me tell you this. So just you can play with this, right? This is an interactive Python session.
Mm-hmm.
This particular thing that we're working on, it's called a notebook, and the notebook allows me to mix regular text and comments with interactive code at the same time.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so for example, if you see this Python as calculator here, I can type 2 plus 3. Now I want to see what is this value. So this is first thing you have to learn. You have to do shift enter.
Okay.
If you do shift enter, it will execute it, right? And you'll see
Put
the
an
output.
output.
Right there.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
So we will use this notebook type of format for the whole program, right?
Okay.
And you can take notes, you can modify things, etc. So when we start working together, I will show you how to, as we go. I don't want to make it just a session only on how to use the notebook. As we start doing things, I'll tell you how to do stuff.
Okay. Sure.
Sorry, Pallavi, remind me again, your programming background is?
Started from mainframe
Yes.
and COBOL. So now I'm totally off everything, but I worked on Unix scripting and .NET VB.
Yeah, everything.
C#. That was the one I last worked on.
Okay. So let's see if this gives you a good programming experience. Okay. I mean, you'll see as we start to work on this stuff. It's going to be very interactive. So we will write a lot of code and we'll check a lot of things.
Okay.
Okay. So you basically, okay. So let us do, since you're here, let us just do the hello world program, right?
Uh-huh.
So Python is to display anything on the screen. You'll use a print command. So you say print. And then you can type whatever message you want, but the message has to be in single quotes.
Single quotes. Okay.
Okay. So you can do hello world.
Okay. Like, is it that simple? There is no include and there is no all those.
No include, no exclude. No, this is going to be a lot of fun, right? Not only is it like this, but I can actually double click here and take notes, right? So that's how I've actually created this notebook for you. You can write your own comments here. This is too easy, right?
Shift enter.
Yeah, shift enter is your key though. It'll take a little time. You usually enter shift enter. Okay, so we can have a lot of fun. We can write a lot of interesting things. Maybe for homework, you can solve this problem. We solved it together. If you take all the chapatis eaten in India, chapatis only, no Mangalore. What is it? No Mangalore bread. What is that thing called, Sachin? Mangalore what?
Oh, the last time we discussed?
Yeah, Mangalore?
Mangalore bun.
Mangalore bun. Yeah, no Mangalore buns, only chapatis. Okay.
Okay.
If you take all the chapatis in India and you stack them up and make a mountain, how high is the mountain going to be? Only chapatis, no Mangalore buns. That is separate calculation.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can start playing with this, and then when we do the session, we'll work through all this stuff. Okay, so but to wind up for today, Sachin, you did your solution. I think you pasted something, right? You said done. Did you do the other one also or no? Which one? You did both. Did you do multiplication table? I think that's, what did you paste me? This one, right? Oh yeah. This is your code, right, Sachin? You see my screen? So why do you put n equals 2 on top of it?
Oh, no. The first line was in commented. Like first, I took a line.
Okay, I understand. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it out. You get to explain to everyone what you did. Okay. So quickly, Sachin, you can explain what you did. It's all looking good. So explain what you did.
So like the first time, I took a variable n. Actually, where user we can ask user actually to enter any value.
Yeah.
Then as we use a constructed function using the range from starting point 1 and up to 11, because a stop point will be like whatever the value will define, that will be a -1.
Yeah, 11 minus 1 is 10.
10.
So in India, I thought they learn everything to 12 times table, no?
20.
Really? 20?
Some.
We did 12 when we went to school. Okay. And then you did the for loop, right? Okay.
Then using the print function, I multiplied variable n and the range actually that coming from the for loop. So
very good. So let me just run it. enter a number 3 times table. We got it, right? But now I'm going to say, let's make it even cooler. Let's make the display look a little nice. So we're going to use this F string here, and I'm going to say, what is it? So when you're saying 3 times table, is it 3 times 1, 3 times 2? Yeah. So we must put 3, whatever the n times table, right? So n times I equals, right? N times I must put a bracket here. I have an extra quote. So 3, how's that? Right, so it's nice, it's neat. Yeah, it's nice, right? Yeah, it's nice, it's neat. So that's just showing you the power of what we can do quickly, right?
So whatever is within the curly brackets is getting executed, is it? Like it gets the value for that, okay.
So just quickly, since Pallavi, we will discuss this in more detail. First of all, we have a for loop here.
Right,
and the for loop, what it loops over is controlled by this. So for example, I thought we have to learn up to 12 times table. So then I will put 13 here. Okay. And then inside this for loop, notice the for loop has a structure here. For I in, and all the elements of range will be stored in I one by one and then evaluated. You have to end with a colon and you have to have an indent. So instead of using brackets like other languages, Python like VB uses indentation.
Okay.
Right? It's a little bit better than VB because VB has all this sub and end sub and all that stuff. So Python doesn't have all these things, right? So it's very clean. Later we can discuss this. Python looks most close to English. There's only one language I know that's closer than this to English. It's called Haskell. Okay, so the code will look very easy to read. But of course, some people complain about indentation. So when you start, you'll be like, I prefer brackets. And actually, Python is not averse. You want to put semicolons and all, it actually will allow you to do this. Right? It won't complain. But we don't need all these things, right? So we keep our code clean, okay? So colon and indent. And then the only thing which is complicated here, which we discussed, is this, how to construct strings with variables inside them.
That is the F part. Okay.
That is the F string. That's it. And so it's a simple construct, but we can now do anything we want here.
Nice.
So, okay, homework for you quickly is this for loops, right? Just some practice with for loops. So I won't make you do it now. I don't want to start this today, but I will just mention it for next time. What I want to do is we'll create programming assignments for you to work on. And I have I don't know, let me ask a question quickly. Have any of you worked with like code testing frameworks?
Not much.
Okay, so I'll show you how to test code. And we will use this code testing frameworks to validate a code when we write. And I actually use those testing frameworks to automatically grade your submissions. So if you're working and I'm not there and you want to submit something, you'll get a score 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. So you can practice on your own. But I'll show you this next time. Okay. So for this time, you just work on this notebook. And if you want to go forward, you can. But at least this part, what we have done, just make sure you do some practice. Type, create some things, etc.
Sure.
Okay. So this may be a good time to wind up. Pallavi, I'll let you go. Pallavi, Sachin, and Kiran.
Yeah, I'll drop an email. Yeah.
Drop an email.
Okay. Thank you, Sachin. Yeah, we'll coordinate.
Okay.
Yeah,
I look forward to talking to all of you next time.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. If you have any questions in the meantime or need any help, just send me email. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Sachin, and for those in India, just the last gasp of weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.